Hey guys, today I want to talk about winning. I want to talk about the difference between winners and losers and why you need to make a habit of winning. That's coming up. So in the intro, I'm talking about winning today, and I want to really cover this subject. I may do a few talks on it because it's so important. You know, so much of our inner dialogue decides whether we win or lose. Let me turn this just a little bit. What do I mean by that? Have you ever heard somebody say, have you ever had like made a tentative appointment with someone and you say, you're going to be there tomorrow, right? And they say, yeah, I'm going to try. And you just know by the use of that word try that they're likely not going to make it, right? You just know in your spirit, well, you know, they're not really committed because they just said they're going to try. And usually when someone says they're going to try, it's actually like a subconscious setup for them to say, don't count on me, right? At least that's been my experience. And so much of the words that you use, the inner dialogue, what's going on in your head and your heart, decides whether you win or lose. And you know, if you ever watch the Super Bowl, the team that gets to the end, the two teams that get to the end, most times they don't have perfect records, right? Most times those teams have lost. They've just lost less than the other teams, which means that they've won more. And that's what practicing winning is all about. It doesn't mean that you always win. It means that you do your best in every scenario to win. And then when you do that, hopefully you win more times than you lose. And that's what practicing winning is all about. That's why a guy like Kobe Bryant will shoot 800 shots before practice. He'll shoot for 4 hours before his team comes to practice. That's what winners do. Winners are always honing their craft. You know, I woke up this morning and I said, I'm starting training. I'm going back into training today. And training for me is feeding my head the positive stuff, listening to the people that are ahead of me, listening to people in marketing, the Gary V's of the world, the people that are out there shaking it up, the movers and the shakers. I like Grant Cardone, I like Gary Vaynerchuk. I follow these people because they inspire me. I follow these people because I want to emulate the successes that they have. And don't get me wrong, I've had some success, but I'm always hungry for more. And that's what practicing winning is all about. You know, I make no time for television. I watched a lot of crap on the plane to Malaysia because the internet didn't work. Even though I paid for internet on the flight, it was awful. It might as well have been non-existent. So I watched a lot of movies, and then there were TV shows that I watched. And I realized that when I watch television, it zaps my motivation. And it's not just that I'm losing all this time to sitting in front of the box watching things, right? So if you're getting entertainment, if you're watching things, then you're not actually engaged in doing things. You're kind of checked out. But over and above that, I believe that it kind of like brainwashes you. I believe that it kind of hypnotizes you. I can't really describe it or explain it. It just kind of takes my motivation away. And so I fast all forms of syndicated television, TV, media. If I want to go to a movie, I couldn't even tell you what movie's playing, but if I want to go to a movie, I'll go to the movie. I'll take an hour and a half of my time to see something that I think is going to be amazing, especially like if it's on IMAX, like an action movie, like Transformers on IMAX with an amazing sound system. That's kind of experience. But as far as, tuning into a television program once a week or putting it on TiVo and getting addicted to some show, I just don't do it. I can't do it. And the biggest reason is because I feel like it robs precious time. You know, there's only so much time that we have on planet Earth, and we've got to be engaged in doing the things that inspire us. We've got to be engaged in doing the things that bring us to the shiny, happy place that we envision being. And that's when I talk about practicing winning. I mean, you should be waking up with passion. And if you don't feel passionate, if you don't feel motivated, if you don't feel a charge out of life, you know, that's that emotion and that feeling, it's fleeting. You can change it. You can find your passion in the moment. You can find your charge in the day. It's just like changing a CD in a CD player. You can change the way you feel. You can decide you're going to be motivated. You can listen to someone who motivates you. You can listen to music. You can put on a personal development training or a video, or you can get on YouTube, or you can go for a walk, or you can start doing push-ups. Whatever it's going to take to get you in the zone. It's so important that we get in the zone and that we stay in the zone. I call it the state of flow. You want to live in the state of flow as much as you can. And, I really do practice that. Like in the morning when I'm writing, if I'm feeling the words pour out of me, I harness it. If I do an article and I still feel motivated, I still feel like I have my edge, I do a second article. Or I do some research on something that I'm writing, because I'm desirous to finish a book. So I stay in that state of flow. And then when I start to get tired, I need food, I need water, I need a break, I need to push away, my butt's getting sore because I've been sitting in front of the computer too long, then I go to the next thing. Whether it's taking a walk like I am today and doing a Cellie talks, or going down to the gym in my building, or getting in the jacuzzi, or getting in the sauna, or whatever. But I'm always attempting anyway to do things to keep me in the state of flow, to feed my head, so I can be a better, more effective person in business, and hopefully all these things that I do cause me to win more times than I lose. Look, I've fallen on my face so many times. I've said it before, I've admitted it before. I've failed quite a bit. But the interesting thing is you've got to risk failure if you want to win. And if you want to win big, then you stand the chance to fail very, very big. And you've got to be willing to put it all on the line and risk it. It's funny, the people that take pot shots at us, right? The haters out there and the people that take pot shots, they're the same people that risk nothing in their own life. They maintain status quo, they keep an even keel, and they don't take any risks. And this is why they resent the people who dare to risk it all and then win. I've said it before, successful people will do things now that average people won't, so they can do things later that average people can't. And people hate on you when you're able to do things that they just can't do. And they hate on you because they resent the fact that you can do them. But they don't see all the sacrifices that we make as entrepreneurs. They don't see all the ups and downs and all the attitude adjustments and all the struggles that we've had financially and all of the hours and hours and hours that we've spent grinding, learning our craft. For me, learning multimedia, learning content creation, learning video editing and audio editing, learning how to develop programs, integrate software, manage projects, learning how to write scripts and do content and make movies and do network marketing presentations and do screencasts and do the personal development and learning how to get in front of people and conduct webinars and conference calls and get in front of groups of people in person. And all of that stuff took hours upon hours upon hours of relentless grinding. And the people that resent anyone having success are the people that won't do the work. The really crazy thing is, what you'll find is the people that who are struggling financially are also the people that do the least amount of personal development. It's just the way it goes. There's an equation to it, and success leaves clues. So you want to practice winning. And what does winning mean? Well, everybody has a different definition of what winning is. Some people believe that success is all about lifestyle and not an income statement. Some people believe that, like a guy like Donald Trump might say, success is all about how much money, that what your net worth is. A lot of the analysts will say that Donald Trump is worth $4 billion, but if you ask him, he says he's worth $9 billion. It doesn't matter who's right. He defines his success by his net worth. So your definition of success, I'm sure, is different than my definition of success. But whatever your definition is, the important thing is that you're going after that shiny, happy vision, that shiny, happy future, the thing that you dream of. The important thing is that you are taking the steps. I feel like, getting back to the TV thing, when you're engaged in entertainment, it's detaining you from entering into your callings, into your giftings. I'm talking about this quite a bit because I'm seeing it in people that I care about. I'm seeing people that are struggling, but they have time for 2 or 3 weekly shows that they watch every single week. They have time to hang out with their buddies and go to the sports bar and play pool and drink beer, but they have no money. And the really crazy thing is these same people keep expecting to get a different result out of their life, but they continue to do the same things. It's not enough to have a dream. You've got to go after it. And if you want to attain it, you got to change things in your life. And the people that refuse to take the steps are the people that are afraid, or they're the people that just don't believe that they can affect the change, so why try? You're not going to take steps to do something you don't believe you can make happen. And so this is where the personal development comes in. Without the personal development, you don't believe you can accomplish these things. And so you want to hang around with people. If you want to be a winner, hang around with winners. Hang around with people that have already attained the things you want to attain. Hang around with people that are on the path that you want to be on. Hang around with people that are going the same places that you want to go. If you're struggling financially, I promise you, your 5 closest friends are struggling financially, or at least most of them are struggling financially, because you become who you hang around. So winners gravitate to winners. Have you ever heard the old saying, misery loves company? Have you ever seen somebody that wants to cry in their beer, and they're looking for somebody that they can cry with so they don't feel alone? And it's like they want to pull somebody else down to their level and say, oh, and they use all this victim talk, this victim language. I did a post about that this morning, talking about the words that you use. Your words are creating a product. And the victim words are just getting the result that a victim gets, which is failure. And people that refuse to take responsibility for where they're at in life, people that refuse to take responsibility and they want to blame all these outside sources, you can't help it if the power goes out in your neighborhood, but you can take responsibility to have been conscientious enough to have a backup generator. So even if the power goes out in your neighborhood for 24 hours, you're still connected to the web. You still have the lights on for your family. You can still use your electric stove to cook. You can use your microwave. So there's a difference between stuff happening to you and being a victim, and stuff happening to you and taking responsibility. And the winners in life never make excuses. They just own it. You've got to own your junk. You've got to be responsible for your shortcomings. Be responsible for every failure that you've made. Look, I've made some doozies in my life. I've done some stuff that I am so embarrassed to admit. I've just failed and failed and failed. But you know what? Through all of it, I've become better. I've become more resilient. I've become more experienced. I've become a better business person by making mistakes and learning, man, I never want to do that again. I never want to make this mistake again. I'll never let a person take advantage of me like I let that person do. So I hope this talk encourages you. You want to practice winning. You want to do your best in every situation. And let me just encourage you. I've said it before. I made a whole post about fasting network TV. You need to kill television in your life. Television is for people that are going nowhere. Now, it's okay to have entertainment. It's okay to, take a little time in your life for some entertainment. But I prefer, as I did in that talk, recreation. I prefer to be engaged. When I'm bored, I make a video. When I'm bored, I write an article. When I'm bored, I listen to someone who inspires me. When I'm bored, I go for a walk. I'm constantly engaged in doing the things that cause me to improve. And I recommend, if you want to practice winning, that you shut off that idiot box. Unplug it. Take it out of your house. You don't need it. If you got a laptop and you want to tune into something, use your laptop, get online and listen to someone who inspires you. Don't be watching the syndicated network TV. It's going to turn your brain into mush. It's going to make you a meat puppet. I think I went a little long on this talk, ladies and gentlemen. I'm real curious to know what you guys think. I do welcome your comments below. Please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, over at tomcellie.me/subscribe, I've got a free audio, 30 sources to get leads now for your business, places that you probably never thought of, that you put in a little sweat equity, a little time, and tons of leads will come into your reality. And you can get it for free by going to tomcellie.me/subscribe. It's a free audio. It's about 15 minutes. My gift to you. And until next time, this is Tom Cellie saying live well, love well, and God bless.